time to start stocking up on sunblock and buying your family swimsuits because summer break starts soon. You're probably already thinking about your next trip. This morning, we are learning what you can expect before you fly or drive out. Joining us in studio with details on how much it could cost you to get to your next vacation destination is Doug Shupe with AAA Texas. Thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Good morning, Amy. Thanks for having me in here.
Yeah, so have you already made plans to travel this summer?
I have a couple of trips on my bucket list, but I haven't actually made the plans yet. Just waiting to find out which days I'm going to take. But, you know, it's going to be a really big summer for travel.
Yeah.
In fact, analysts are projecting that 4.9 billion people will travel globally this year.
Okay.
That's going to be a record, higher than the 4.5 billion who traveled around the world back in 2019 before the pandemic began.
Right. So we're already exceeding those levels of
Absolutely.
travelers, which we say, oh, that's great news for the economy, for people getting back out there. What does it mean, though, for airfare? I remember getting some pretty good deals before COVID in 2019.
Yeah, you know what it is when there's demand, what we see are the prices go higher, and there is extreme demand this year. But also the summertime airfare tends to be higher anyway, regardless of where you go. I mean, it's more in line with the pricing of airfare that we see during the holidays, you know, Thanksgiving and the year-end holidays.
Yeah, so definitely higher. And then you guys always track gas prices. So say a family's like, okay, we're not going to fly, but we'll just take a driving vacation. It can be a little difficult to predict gas prices, but what do we kind of see in that area?
It can, but you know, regardless, even if the gas prices are going to be higher than last summer, depending on how many people you're traveling with, but typically if you're going with the family, a family of 4, you're going to be able to travel by automobile for a lot less money than you can for airfare. The other thing that people just love traveling, taking those old-fashioned road trips, is they can leave when they want to leave. They can return when they want to leave. Hey, we want to stay another day and go check out this amusement park. You can do that when you take that road trip.
And you got to stop at Buc-ee's. I mean, all those
you have to go to Buc-ee's. Absolutely.
Getting back to the airfare, so some airlines have cut routes. I would imagine that that would also play a factor into the demand and prices.
Yeah, what we're seeing is some of the domestic carriers have been consolidating routes as they've eliminated some of the smaller regional jet service in some areas. Also, there were pilots that took early retirement packages, and so there's been that work to hire on the staff again. But even with some of the challenges that the airline industry is facing, we're not expecting that the lack of planes, you know, even because of the production issues that have dropped some of the delivery of planes, we're still not anticipating that that's going to have much of an impact on the ability of the airlines to meet the demand for this summer's travel.
Right, that is good news.
Yeah.
So then I know, can you tell us about good deals? I mean, so we're thinking about that. We know, okay, expect to pay more. Airfare is always up in the summer, and it seems to be up. More people will travel this summer than in 2019. Do you have any tips or tricks or what I should do to try to save money?
Absolutely. Think about where you want to go and book it now. The sooner the better. You really want to explore also. Think about where you're going. We know, for example, Europe is going to be expensive because of the Summer Olympics in Paris. So, you know, think about London, Frankfurt, Germany, obviously going to be very expensive. Also, think about, you know, tropical destinations. Those are going to be more crowded and obviously higher demand. So you may have higher prices there. So you could consider off-season places, you know, that's always going to save you some money. We recommend working with a trusted travel advisor, you know, because they can help bundle your vacation packages, include airfare and accommodations to save you money. Of course, if you're a AAA Texas member, you get even additional benefits and savings.
But if I'm not a AAA Texas member, can I work with a AAA Texas advisor?
Absolutely. You can go in, you can start considering some of the options out there, but keep in mind, you're going to find some savings there. It might be worth the additional, you know, $50, $60 for the membership just to take advantage of those savings. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And we also recommend that people consider trip insurance, travel insurance. More and more people discovered the benefits and the importance of that during the pandemic because situations were changing so rapidly. But just, you know, spending a little extra for that peace of mind to protect that investment might be a good idea.
Right. If you're looking at flying over the summer, like when you want to go. So for example, we're now mid-April.
Right.
And I might find the best. I'm talking about time out from booking tickets. Do you find that there's a sweet spot if I want to travel in July? When should I be looking or booking?
You should be booking probably very soon,
Yeah.
because the earlier the better. It used to be you can kind of wait a little bit longer, but because of the demand, these seats are filling up so fast.
Yeah.
And so that's why you want to go ahead and book earlier rather than later. We do know that there are particular days that are better. So consider flying out on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Saturday. Those tend to be the cheapest because you don't have as many business travelers on those days. Business travelers like to travel on Sundays, Mondays, and Fridays.
Yeah.
So, considering the day that you travel could help save you some money as well. Also consider, maybe can you fly out of San Antonio or maybe Dallas?
You can check those airports. If you're willing to make that drive.
Exactly. After that long trip back, you may just want to get back and get close to home. But it's something to consider.
Yeah, and if you have not used Google Flights before, just to gather information when you're going, it's super easy to sort of put some dates in there.
Doing research online is very good. Absolutely. That way you can kind of see what it is, but then go and talk to your travel advisor, see if they can get you a better deal when you think about combining that with a hotel accommodation.
Yeah, also all great advice. Thank you so much. So do we need to walk in to speak with a travel advisor at AAA, or can we call?
You can call, you can go online, AAA.com, or you could just simply walk into one of the many branch offices we have throughout the Houston area.
All right, don't forget about AAA. Doug Shupe, I appreciate your help this morning.
Thank you, Amy.